Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And we're tracking that breaking news that's surrounding the evening commute. Here's some live pictures from Sky 4 right now. Northbound, I-75 is closed at the Davison because of a crash there. State police say the driver is in critical condition, but that's the only detail they're releasing about the crash at this time. They're warning drivers to find alternate routes and expect long delays. Once again, this is northbound I-75 closed at the Davison. We'll let you know when it's back open.
The National Weather Service confirms a tornado hit Monroe County.
This is wild. Wild.
Now neighbors are banding together to try to get it cleaned up. Good to have you with us here for Local 4 News at 5. I'm Devin Skillion.
I'm Kimberly Gill. The EF1 was on the ground north of Monroe for close to 5 miles with estimated max winds of 90 miles an hour. Megan Woods has been in that area all day talking to folks, getting a firsthand look at the damage. Megan, there's a lot of cleanup to do.
A lot of cleanup, and just to give you an idea of the extent of this damage, look at this massive truck. With the weather in Frenchtown Township quickly went from this
is wild
to this.
He's trying to get back. All of a sudden, all it was tree branches and debris, shingles, everything coming, hitting the truck that was right there.
It was probably the first time in I don't know how many years we said, get in the basement.
The National Weather Service confirmed it was an EF1 tornado with a peak of 90-mile-per-hour winds. But it's what happened after that has people like Mark Myers staying positive.
20, 30 minutes after the storm was left, neighbors came down with their chainsaws and cleared the road out so people could get up and down the road.
You know, we have such a great neighborhood, so everyone's out kind of helping everyone.
Yeah, this has been awful.
Cleaning up is brutal,
but good neighbors always help.
It's hard to complain because while they were hit with a tornado, difficult moments like this are a reminder that there's no place like home.
Just got home from up north about an hour or two ago. We've been working ever since, but our neighbors worked hours and hours. Even a friend of ours that lives in Newport came. They got all the big stuff.
And you see, there's still so much work to be done depending on what street you're on. You see this massive trunk. You see they're trying to figure out how to move this from blocking the roadway. So a lot of work to be done. DTE is still working to get power back on in these neighborhoods as well. Reporting live in Monroe County, I'm Megan Woods, Local 4.
Yeah, a lot of damage there. Okay, Megan, thank you. And as the storm came through last night, the photos came flooding into my pics.
For example, Renee sent this photo of an uprooted tree. This is in Berlin Township in Monroe County.
Yeah, and check out all the hail. This is from Jean Kendall from Pinckney. She sent us this photo, and be sure to send us your photos on My Pics. You can find all the info to sign up right on the homepage of clickondetroit.com.
I keep telling you, we don't usually have measurable hail. We measure it in diameter, but not in the pile that it makes. Yeah. Let's bring in Kim Adams now and look at how these storms came through.
Yeah, Kim, things got pretty chaotic for a few hours as we were on the air yesterday.
They sure did, especially right during our 6 o'clock show. I took the radar back to 6:16 yesterday. That's when the tornado warning came out, and it was in this box right here, which includes Detroit Beach and Frenchtown Township. So the warning came out 6:16 and continued for just a short time. This was a very short-lived event, but as soon as we saw this as meteorologists here, this is the velocity, and that you've got, wind going away from the radar site and wind going toward it. There's rotation, and we knew at that point that there was a problem in Detroit Beach and Wood Beach as well. So here's what happened yesterday. Again, 6:16 is when the warning went out, but the tornado actually touched down at 6:09, and it was just to the north of Detroit Beach, right where we saw that velocity on our radar and also signs of rotation. Then it continued to move towards Estral Beach. It was very short-lived. It was not on the ground for very long. From touchdown to lift up, it was 6:09 to 6:18. So a very short period of time, just about 9 minutes. It was a 4.7-mile path and then about 400 yards wide, which is about a quarter of a mile. All right, so we had the tornado yesterday, and now we get into a very calm weather situation with highs tomorrow in the low 80s, lots of sunshine. But now we got to talk about a drought, and we'll do that in just a few minutes.
All right, Kim, and we continue to follow breaking news happening up north in the town of Manistee. New video just in as police there investigating an active shooter situation. We do know 2 people so far are being treated for injuries. There are 4, though, crime scenes at this hour. Police say there is no threat to the public at the moment. We are expecting an update from police at any moment, and we will have updates for you just as soon as we get them from Manistee. All right, now to a bizarre story we're tracking on Detroit's west side. An aunt is accused of dousing her niece with lighter fluid and trying to light her on fire. And that's not all.
Sherry Hamilton has been arrested, arraigned, and charged in this case. Sean Lay is live on this story tonight. Sean, any clue what in the world led up to this?
We wanted to know that also. Kimberly went straight to that apartment complex today and talked to people who clearly heard someone say, I'm going to light you on fire and burn this place to the ground. They didn't wait around to see what was going on. They got out. Clearly a vicious argument. Here's what we know.
What's your name, ma'am?
Sherry Hamilton.
Sherry Hamilton has such a soft voice. She's an aunt, but she is charged with a horrifying attack on her own niece. It happened here at this apartment building on West McNichols. Prosecutors say during a vicious argument, Hamilton sprayed lighter fluid all over her niece, her clothing, and her apartment. In court, prosecutors say Hamilton is a clear danger.
Anytime anyone allegedly sprays a residential area with lighter fluid, let alone an individual judge, the defendant is a danger to the complainant, to the community.
All of this happening right upstairs, and it was loud. Neighbors say they heard the argument going on right here at this unit. They saw the aunt throw the niece's clothes over the balcony and then grabbing lighter fluid, spraying it inside, spraying that lighter fluid on her niece. She was able to get away before anyone was able to light a lighter. She would have been burned. This whole place could have been burned down. This dad was here at the time. He got his kids out, fearing the entire building would be set on fire.
I'm glad my kids ain't out there playing around this type of stuff, you feel me? So, I mean, I'm glad that she didn't do worse damage, you know what I'm saying? Because it could have been worse by her throwing the lighter fluid on, you know what I'm saying?
Could have been much, much worse. So the magistrate calling Hamilton a clear danger here, gave her about a $3,500 bond, saying if she makes that bond, she can have no contact with her niece or anyone or go back to that apartment complex right now. Kimberly?
Yeah, well, Sean, what was the argument about? Do we have any idea?
Late today, we're hearing is argument over a living situation at that apartment. But that's when the lighter fluid came out, and we were there. That place could have been burnt to the ground easily. Prosecutors believe a small fire was indeed set.
Okay. Sean, thanks. Geraldine Johnson has been in the Wayne County lockup since her arrest early this week.
Johnson is accused of hitting and killing a woman in downtown Detroit while she was behind the wheel of a DDOT bus. It is not the first time it's happened, not by far. Rod Maloney live on this story for us. She is being allowed to go home, though. Is that right, Rod?
That's right. She's at home tonight, Devin. And it was at this intersection back on June 2nd that the accident happened. She's been in jail because they arrested her earlier this week. She wanted out of jail, and tonight she is, in fact, at home. Initially, 59-year-old Geraldine Johnson received a $25,000 cash bond she could not make. And while charged only with a misdemeanor, it's a very serious case. 67-year-old Janice Bauer of Grosse Pointe Park tried crossing Griswold in Congress behind her walker with the light on June 2nd downtown. Detroit police say Johnson rolled her DDOT bus right over her, killing her. And in a startling revelation, it came to light in Johnson's arraignment, this was not her first fatal accident behind the DDOT wheel. Video from her bus back in 2015 shows Joey Davis getting off to pull his bike from the front rack, with Johnson behind the wheel. Records show she fatally rolled her bus over him as well. The state suspended Johnson's bus driving license, deeming her unqualified at the time. Yet shortly thereafter, DDOT decided to retrain Johnson after the fatal accident and put her back on the street. Yesterday, the city announced it fired Johnson after the June 2nd accident. As for today's bond hearing, the chief judge, William McConaughey, said new state rules require setting attainable bonds, so he reduced her bond from $25,000 cash to a personal bond with house arrest with a tether. She's only able to leave for medical appointments or court dates, saying above all,
Ms. Johnson is not to operate a motor vehicle, period.
Now, in addition to those 2 fatal accidents, it turns out that they brought out in court that she's been involved in more than a half a dozen other accidents in her own personal vehicle. Since 2015, she has pled not guilty in this case. Back to you.
So when is she scheduled to be in court again, Rod?
Right. At the end of August, it's looking like she's got a pretrial motion hearing, so we'll certainly be following up with that.
Sure will. All right, Rod. The Postal Service needs your help to get them to stop.
The real danger mail carriers are dealing with far too often.
Also, toxic algae concerns at a lake up north just as the summer season is getting underway. Hank.
A local man in a big battle to get his mother's life insurance policy. She worked for a local city for more than 30 years, but for some reason, he's unable to get the money owed to him and his family. I'm Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank. We're live tonight.